We are live. I think we're live. We're live. Let me pull this up over here. Top chat, live chat. All right, everybody. If you haven't already, go check out my trailer for A44. It just dropped a few minutes ago. Link is in the description, and it's also video here on the YouTube channel, so you can go check it out very easily. It's only 2.5 minutes long. I just want to do this live stream, and we'll talk about. Okay, so I'm sure most of you guys over here have already watched the trailer. That was the question that everybody has. When's the movie coming out? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that yet. So right now we're gonna take it one step at a time. Check the trailer out. The movie will be coming out next year sometime. So who was the teacher? The teacher is Dr. Greger. He is a very well-known vegan doctor, and he runs nutritionfacts.org. He came up here for the day, and he was very happy to do this part. He nailed it. He did very good. Yes, and that was the voice of Jane Velez Mitchell from Jane Unchained TV. So if she hasn't seen it yet, she'll probably be seeing it soon. You got goosebumps. I showed the movie to Craig last night. No, Craig. Did I ask Jane? I did. Jane actually supported the Kickstarter. So I didn't even know that at the time, but she supported the Kickstarter for a good amount as well. And then I went out there to promote the movie. We talked about I did an interview on her channel a long time ago. I met her at her house, and we talked. And she's been very helpful ever since. I was like, do you want to be in the movie? Do you want to be a news? She's like, oh, sure, whatever. So she was more than happy to do that. And yeah, I think it sounds great. She's actually in it. You can actually see her in it as well. It's not just the voice. So the actual movie, you'll be able to see Jane. Or will you? So now we need to get this out there. We need people everywhere to see this movie. That means everybody sharing this. That means physically going in and thumbs upping that trailer that you just watched, so the algorithm can share it with more and more people. Comment if you would, and share it with everybody. Share it in groups. I shared it in groups that I shared it at where I went to high school, and I said, hey, this is my first feature movie, and our high school is in it, because where Dr. Greger did that was my high school. That's where I grew up. That's the small little town that I grew up in. So I had to put a little bit of homage to like where I grew up and stuff. So because that gave me a lot of the experiences that I had, because a lot of the things in this movie, although it is a zombie movie, but some of the other things are based on real life events. And some of the littlest things that you wouldn't think twice about are from real experiences I had growing up. There's going to be conversations in here that you guys as vegans will be like, oh, I've heard that before. I showed this movie to Craig and his girlfriend last night, and they loved it. And just to further expand on that, like that they didn't just say that they loved it because they're my friend, but this morning when I woke up, I had a text message from Craig saying like, man, I woke up thinking about the movie. I can't stop thinking about it. Like, it was so good, and especially the end. So for me, very few movies do that. When it's a good movie and I love it, I will think about it for the next week, And the fact that I was able to do that with this movie with Craig, because the way I've always, so this is my thought process on this. I don't know if I'm right, but for me, I feel like if I watch a movie that's good and it's got an okay ending, I might not think about it after I watch it. I watch it, oh, that was a good movie, and I don't think about it anymore. But if I watch a movie like that just pulls at my emotions, especially at the end of the movie, I'm gonna be thinking about that. Like E.T., like that just pulled at my emotions at the very end. Last of the Mohegans, like these movies, they did something at the end, and I attempt to do that in this movie so that, even if some of the other movie is mediocre, that end part which we're gonna leave to is going to leave a memory for you. That's what I tried to do in this movie. So it worked for Craig. But still, only a very, very small amount of people have seen the movie yet, just because, my close friends, pretty much family, have only seen the movie. So, you like the title to the live stream? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Somebody in the movie says that. Let's talk about it. I don't know if that's why you're saying that. Stacy is actually in the movie as well. Also, our first AD. So, everybody say hi to Stacy. You'll see her in the movie. I know I saw Coughlin here a little bit early. He's probably working though, so I don't know if he's in this chat. He's also in the movie. And I saw Lena over there. Lena is our producer, one of our 3 producers. You love that this came on a Friday the 13th. That wasn't even really intentional. I'm like, let's say next Friday. And then I realized, oh, it's Friday the 13th. So, yeah, zesty. So, I'll shut up for a minute. Let me know what you guys thought of that trailer. I really want to know. I know I can't see your reactions. Oh, there's Peggy. Hi, Peggy. We saw Tommy and Indy and John. Yes, Tommy was in the trailer. Tommy made it to the trailer. Tommy's in the movie. Tommy came all the way down from New Hampshire with his mom, and they got to meet Dr. Greger. We actually had somebody come here, somebody from our Kickstarter. Her name's Stefania. She's in the movie. She came here all the way from Italy just to be in the movie. And she got to see, she didn't realize it, but she's like a huge fan of Dr. Greger. And when she got there, she saw me and she's like, oh, there's Chris. And then she looked over and she's like, oh my God, Dr. Greger. Like, she was like, yeah, she said she had a great time. And she got to meet Indy too, her favorite. But I thought that was pretty amazing that somebody came all the way from Italy just to be in the movie. So I gave her a speaking part. Linda says the edit was perfect, the pace. That trailer took me, I was working on it 8 to 10 to 12 hours a day for almost a month straight. And then when I got something that I liked, I went back and I rendered it, I re-edited it all the way up until just a couple days ago. I changed something very small with it, probably 50 different times. I had 50 different renders of that trailer. So it's cold down here in the cellar. Rude Panda helped with the Kickstarter. Didn't you send some shirts too? Long time ago? Long time ago, before the Kickstarter? Don't eat animals, fools. That's that character's name is Jerry, played by Isaiah Action Jackson. He goes by Action Jackson. He might even be watching this right now. Really leaves you wanting to see more. I love that. Yes, Tommy was a student with the glasses on the left. If you go watch it again, he's got long hair. I'm trying to read all these. Antiro says, it's weird saying this because I love you, but the scene where you get punched was super cool because it was so realistic. Let me tell you something about why that was realistic. Because that was a metal prop gun, and he had to pretend to hit me over and over. And that particular take, he accidentally really hit me full force. And that sound is the sound of me getting hit in the head with a metal gun. I realized as he hit me when I went down that he really hit me in the head with a metal gun, and I decided to just go with it. And keep shooting, like keep acting, because it was real. We're not going to get any more real than that. Like, he really hit me. So I went down and I was like, oh, like, but unfortunately, his face was like, oh my God, what did I do? So the camera went down to me, which was a good thing. But then when we had to go back to him, we had to have another shot. So that was real. But I'm glad you saw that and pointed that out. That was something I wanted to talk about, when people actually saw the movie. But I'm surprised you pointed it out right away. You love the vegan. There's a few vegan references in there. And like I said, it is a horror movie, as you can see now. But it does have a vegan theme to it. So I like to say it's a movie. It's a vegan movie with zombies. Apple Guy is now your spirit animal? Jerry. Yes. Well, he's in the movie more throughout the movie, so you'll be able to see him a lot more when the movie's out. Was Pat in the diner? Yes, that was my brother in the diner. He's the first one you see. He's not the first one picking up the burger the way I did the edit, but yes, he is. He's eating the burger. No, the Black Metal Chef was not in there. John was in there. That was the voice of Jane Velez Mitchell. That's it. Mike, I think you got it. I was looking for a good tagline for the movie. I think that's it. I was like trying to think, like, what could I use? Keys, please. No, I like that. Don't eat animals, fools. A44, don't eat animals, fools. Crunch with an apple, with like a bite taken out of the apple. Did I get injured? No, I was okay. I think I had a bump on my head, but I was okay. Fortunately, we didn't really have too many injuries on the set of the movie. We had, I think, 2 or 3. They weren't anything big, but I did do my own stunts. Yes, as the movie comes out, I can talk about a couple other ones. So my brother starts the zombie outbreak. No. Well, we'll have to wait and see for that. Peggy, yes, very official, very well done, Chris. Great work. Lauren's mother and I are so excited. We truly cannot wait for the whole thing. Professional. If the trailer is this good, the movie is gonna rock. I did my best. Like I said, guys, this is what I've poured all of my time into in the last few years. So I did my best to make it as perfect as I could possibly get it. So the people that have seen this have given me great feedback. So yeah. The news reporter voice in the beginning. Well, that's Jane Velez Mitchell. She used to be a CNN host back in the day. She covered things like the Michael Jackson case. She's a professional. And now she does Unchained TV. Yeah, I always wanted to make Indian action figure. That would be... how long was the filming? The filming took 3 months. Within that 3 months, we filmed for like 24 days. The aerial shot of the car was cool, and the hallway was perfect atmosphere. Yeah, I love that. I love that aerial shot of the car. And we filmed that at a place called Predmore's, which is out in Georgetown, like about an hour away from here. And we found the perfect gas station to film that scene in. So I don't know if the owner saw this already, but if not, I gotta text her the trailer. I know she's been waiting to see it. Yeah, I really like that line. I think, I wrote it. Don't eat animals, fools. I'm super excited to finally get this out here. I've I put it in several different film festivals, so that's why we're waiting right now. So we have to wait to see what happens with the film festivals. We got to wait to see if we get in them, and if we do get in them, is it going to get in front of people that can help us with distribution, with getting the movie out there? So it's a process. So that's why I don't know exactly when the movie's coming out, but we're taking all the right steps right now. Hey, Tommy, there's Tommy. So Tommy, you finally got to see a clip of your acting. Give you a spoiler? I feel like I just gave you a huge spoiler with a 2.5-minute trailer. Obviously, you make trailers very dramatic, but and some of the things were taken out of context. But all in all, it's all those scenes are in the movie. So I'm reading your comments, and I guess what I want to know is, you guys have been hearing me talk about this for a very long time. I know everybody has their, like, ideas of what it's probably about or what. So what do you guys think now? Are you guys super excited to see the movie now that you saw the trailer? Does the trailer do its job? Does it make you want to see more? I mean, I know you guys know me and everything, but like that aside, and if you just saw this random trailer, being vegans that you are, or maybe some of you loving horror movies, does it make you want to watch the movie? Please, sir, may I have some more? May we have some more? How are you gonna have any vegan meat if you don't eat I want to rent a local theater here. That would be amazing. Yeah, I would love to go travel out and do a few of those if we could. Did I decide on the black and white or the color for that poster? Like, I still really like both of them, but overwhelmingly people chose the black and white for that poster. And I did do a few different posters. So that was one that I was never even going to have my face on that. That's me, obviously, on the poster, but it was just not even a week ago that I went back in and I was trying to rework the last scene of the movie, and I went back in and I looked at different footage, because I already like pretty much picked what I had, and it took a lot of decision making to get what I get. So I felt like I already picked the best shots I could possibly get, but I went back in and I reworked it a little bit. I found another shot and I was like, I really like that shot, and I don't like any shots of myself, but I like that one just because the way I was looking, and it was mysterious. It was evoking, like, what is he looking at? Like, is this a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is he doomed? Is it, like, what's going on? And I found that picture, and I'm like, I got to turn this into a poster. And black and white was the original idea, but then I put it in color, and I was like, ooh, I don't know. If you don't know what we're talking about, you probably aren't one of the Kickstarter people, because I only shared it on the Kickstarter. But I did that so they could give me like a poll on which one they liked better. And overwhelmingly, it was the black and white one over the color one. So if I decide to choose that one, I will be posting that. I've already posted the one picture where you see like the big guy with the lantern. I really love that poster. And a lot of people were like, this doesn't like look like zombie vibes. It looks like more like slasher. There's, like, everything is the way it is for a reason. Like, I've thought very methodically on everything that I've done here. So it does, promote the movie. It is right. It is the right thing. I know what you guys are saying, but still, like, you'll have to see the movie. But I have like 3 different ideas for posters. I have another one that I really like that I want to put out there, but I can't find a good, like, it's 99% done, except for where do I put the A44. I can't find a good place to put the A44. But other than that, like, it shows, for me, what the movie is about. And then the other 2 that we're talking about are just like, they're like, I don't know, like little cool, dramatic, like, talking up the movie kind of thing. So Yeah, I would love to go around different theaters and you know, meet people and show the movie if we went that route. I know you guys are I don't want to like say yes or no to anything there because like I don't want to give the movie away, but I love that people are like coming up with theories and stuff. When eating the dead, create the undead. You are what you eat. A44, you are what you eat, right? If you're eating the dead. The trailer definitely hooks you in and leaves you with it. Plus, you were there for one of the days that we shot this, so I know that you've probably been like really excited and impatient, patient or impatient to see this. Yes, yes, I that would be amazing if we share this to all the vegan groups, all the horror groups. I shared it with filmmaking groups here in the Syracuse area. Towson, Maryland. Yes, buy the book. Yes, a lot of hard work and thought went into this. Like that's yeah, that that's all I put my time into. 2022 was pre-production and production, so that took up most of my year. Tons and tons of time for that. 2023, I took a small little break as I worked, and all of this year I have put nothing but time into this. Um, there's Coughlin there. Um, he's the one at the very end that says, "Hope they don't want to eat us too." He saw that he's one of the few people that did see the whole movie. You had to watch the trailer again. SFG. I love it. I love that people. I want you guys to go back and watch it again. You know, look at some of the like little things in there. Every little thing was meticulous that I put in there. If it didn't work, I took it out, and that's the same way I felt with the movie. You are what you eat. Yes. Oh, we got a super chat there from Debbie. Debbie, thank you for that super chat. I appreciate that. Loved it. Yeah, I know Debbie's been really wanting to see this for a super long time. She's been asking me about indie and everything. So, yes, I want to see more. I will watch the trailer many times. Great job, Vegan Zombie. I really appreciate that, Debbie. Yes, Lisa. So that's another important thing. Lisa says, veganism aside, it looks like a great horror movie. Intrigued to see the actual story. So I knew this was going to be a thing. So I wanted to make a vegan message in there, but I didn't want it to be too strong. And I didn't want people that weren't vegan to like just turn it off and not want to watch this. So I wanted to make a good standalone horror movie with a vegan message in it. So I think it works like that. I'm thinking that it's a good standalone horror movie, and it just happens to be the plot is dealing with veganism. So I think we accomplished that with this movie. So that's why I'm saying this is the first vegan movie that's not a documentary. Here it is. You're seeing the trailer first. We're making history. Because as far as I know, there are no fully vegan movies that are not documentaries, that are not shorts. This is it. Everything we did about this movie going into it, every person that I hired, I said, like, I know this is probably unconventional to say this, but this is a vegan movie. This was supported by a vegan Kickstarter, and we're asking, I can't force anybody what to eat or anything, so you're free to eat whatever you want in your car or offset. But on set, we're doing all vegan catering. We'll have food there for everybody, and everybody was cool with that. So Uh, how do we feel a non-vegan world will receive the movie? Will they see it as overly preachy? I don't think so, because I made a point not to make it overly preachy. And some of the people that I already showed who are not vegan, like we had some people advising us from across the sea over in the UK. And I had some questions that we posted on a Creative Cow, which is like kind of like I think it's like a Reddit or something for like movie makers and stuff like that. And this guy wrote back to us, and we've been talking over the last year to year and a half, and he was very helpful about things. So I decided, after talking to him for so long, like, like I trust him enough to, not knowing him in person, to like, sit there and watch the movie with him. And so he got his buddy, who is a professional color grader, and they were ready and they watched the movie, not really even knowing what it was about, but knowing how many challenges I had going into this. So they weren't really anticipating anything too good. But when it was done, he said, "Chris, this is special. This is so much better than I thought it was going to be. With all the challenges you told me about, you did such a good job on this movie." And this guy is not a vegan. And I didn't tell him, really anything about it going into it. And they both loved it. Okay, they both loved it. He said, "This movie, you can tell, came from the heart." He's the one that told me I need to go out there and put it in these film festivals. So that to me meant a lot. I was like, "Oh, really? Like, you think?" I'm like, "Yeah, but it's like really hard to get into these festivals." He's like, "Yeah, but you did really hard work on this, and it's a so that's coming from somebody that I've never met, somebody that's not a vegan, and he did not think it was too preachy or anything like that. Both of them felt the same way, and neither one of them were vegan. So I don't think so. I mean, the plot of it, yes, it's vegan, but I don't think that it's too in your face for people. And the story moves along too. So here's how I put it. Like, if you're one of those people, if you pay attention, I got to say this because I know some people that will watch a movie as they're like looking at their phone. If you're doing that, you might find some of the scenes boring. But if you're not doing that and you're watching a movie for what a movie is supposed to be, and you're paying attention to the movie and you're watching the movie, and you're not missing, because I put a lot of Easter eggs in there. I put a lot of clues in there throughout. So if you're not paying attention to certain things, and you're just listening to it, but you're not watching it, you might miss some certain things that you don't know later on. But if you're watching it for what it's supposed to be, I think that it's going to move along. I don't think there's really any boring parts. It starts out, to me, if I'm going to be honest, I think the weakest part is the beginning. If people can get through the first 10, 15 minutes, it just keeps getting better and better and better, I think, story-wise and action-wise and stuff like that. And it just goes on till I made the epic part of it the very end, which most movies do. Some do it a little bit before, but I did it at the very end, so it leads up to that. So yeah, to answer your question. If there was a carnivore or a zombie, would they eat the zombies? Right. Tour around New England, and I'll get it to the local theaters. Yeah, I'd be more than, like, if that's the route we're going to go, I'd be more than happy to go to different theaters and play it in front of audiences. I mean, that's pretty much what you do at film festivals. Although I've never been to a film festival, so this is going to be new for me. But I've applied to film festivals literally different places all over the country, and different countries as well, all over the world. Yeah, so yeah, Graven. So Zombieland. When I saw Zombieland, I was like, "What?" And my friends are like, "You're gonna hate it. You're gonna hate it," because it's very similar to how mine starts. Now remember, I wrote this before Zombieland came out, so my movie was already like a script, and then Zombieland came out in October of 2010. 2009 or 2010. I wrote this at the spring, April of 2009. So yeah, you might see some similarities between other movies and stuff keep in mind, I wrote this in 2009, and then I revised it and did more stuff to it in 2018. But the original premise that I had on there was written long before The Walking Dead was even a TV show, before Zombieland was out, before The Last of Us was even a thought in the guy's mind to make the video game. There's so many things that people might think that I copied, which I didn't. I did this all from my own, like all of these were original ideas at the time. I just want to say that. And I did put a disclaimer at the beginning just in case. I'm still scrolling through these. I know I'm probably way far behind. I would be awesome at a film festival. I love talking about all this stuff. Like you ask me if nobody asks questions, I don't. But when people start asking the questions, I start working like synergistically, and I'll talk forever. Because literally this is all I've been doing for the last 3 years, you know. And then in like the off time, you know, writing it 16 years ago, rewriting it 2018, and just so many more times. And even before I actually, do you know how many times I rewrote it right before we actually shot? And as we were shooting, I'm like, I gotta rewrite the scene, you know, stuff like that. Did I add any references from other horror movies? Yeah, there are references from other horror movies, and there's some certain things in there that, well, you'll just have to see. I'll have to see how good I did with that. But yes, there are. Albany's not too far from me. I would love to do that. I know I'm probably still far behind here. Oh, we have another. I missed it. I can't miss that. AJ with a $49.99 super chat. Thank you, AJ. I appreciate that more than you probably know. I appreciate all the super chats. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I knew there was another one in there. Thank you. I'm not like in real time here. I'm trying to read every comment and question here. I'm glad I scrolled back up. Yeah, Peggy, I did ask Laser if he would be willing to do that and stuff. You know, I would be more than happy to do that if I could find somebody to watch my dog and all that stuff. New Hampshire is, you know, it's still kind of far away. How long was the drive for you to get here? I haven't been to New Hampshire in at least 8 or 9 years. Oh wait, what happened? Are we live still? Did I lose internet? I just lost my page, guys. What the heck happened? Are you guys still here? Okay, it looks like I'm back. I don't know what the heck just happened. I was reading something and then my whole screen went off. Okay, what was I just reading? Something... Oh, Antero. The scene where the male healthcare worker collapses is freaky to me because of the way his eyes are so concerned and get so big. Was anything done to his eyes? Nothing was done to his eyes. He did a great job. And that's actually one of the scenes I just changed like a day ago for the trailer. He wasn't in that scene, and then I put him in there. So... yeah, he did an amazing job. He came right in and he just like fell to the ground, and I'm like, wow, yeah, that's amazing. So, yeah. So so I tried to get contact lenses for a lot of the people that were playing zombies. Some of the people had never worn contacts and they couldn't get them in their eyes, which made my job infinitely harder to do because there's one scene where somebody is, you know, one of the main characters is running as a zombie. So they're moving and running, and I had to go into After Effects and digitally put zombie eyes on this person as they're moving, and it took me so long to do that because they couldn't get contact lenses in there, which would have made it way easier. But it looks pretty cool, and when I look back at it, I'm like, wow, do you know how much time I spent on that? I did another thing last night that me and Craig talked about afterwards, where I did another thing which took me like literally about 24. I don't mean like I worked a little bit for 2 days. I worked a total of 24 hours. So like I worked several days to try to get this, and I was able to put it in there. And I go, look, that's not really in there. I put that in there. And Craig was like mind blown because, you know, he knows a little bit of this stuff too. He's like, what? I would have never known. So I put a lot of time into this, you know. I did all the visual effects. I did all the color grading. I did all the editing. The only thing post-production I personally did not do was the sound. And the sound design, as you just heard, is pretty amazing. So Rob is a professional sound design. He's been following my channel for at least almost the entirety of the time since I've had the channel. And he reached out in the earlier days of the movie, and I didn't forget him, but I needed to do everything in a process. And then when I was ready to do the sound, it was either I had to learn myself, because I literally learned so much, you know, doing this. And I did so much on my own just because we didn't have a budget to pay anybody to do any of this. But now that I've done it, I'm glad I did it because I got to do it even more my way and see my vision come to life. But Rob did an amazing job with the sound. And as, you know, we watched it last night at Craig's house, like, I think I talked about this on a live stream, but I was like, Craig, you hear the coyotes in the background? He's like, yeah, man. So, without Rob, this, like, I mean, the sound brings this movie to life. I mean, he mixed it perfectly. If it was me doing it, like, you would have heard, like, sound effects and music, and you wouldn't really hear what the people were saying because I'm not a sound guy. So that's why you need other people to come together when you're making a movie. And obviously this wouldn't be a movie if it wasn't for the Kickstarter people, because that's the only way that we got, you know, we tried to get extra funding outside of that. It just never happened. So the Kickstarter people are the sole reason this movie exists. And so... yeah, Lena is in the chat as well. Lena says there are lighter moments in comedy too. We tried to do that. As you can see, there's in the trailer, there's like that dramatic climb to like the sounds and the booms, and then it just cuts off, and you see Melody, who plays, so Melody Portnoy plays the character of Katie. She goes, wait a minute, and she like completely stops it. She's like, wait a minute, what do you mean? You know? So, yeah, she's like wiping blood off her face. So yeah, that was supposed to be a comedic moment right there. There are a few, you know, comedy golds in there, I think. I don't think I personally wouldn't call it a comedy, but there are, you know, some funny scenes. And for people that are vegan that know, like, you've been a vegan for a while, you've heard it all, you're going to hear lines in here that, I mean, Craig heard it right away. He's like, oh, I've heard that, you know, for the last 10 years. Because I did it. I put my own experiences in here, you know, like, oh, I could never give up cheese, like that kind of stuff, you know, like it's, you know, things that we've heard so many times. I'm like so far behind in the comments, but I'm trying to get through them. If you're just coming here from watching it, if you're coming here and you didn't watch the trailer yet, it is ready. I've got, you know what? I should have probably linked the link at the top of here. That's what I need to do real quick. Give me 1 second. Well, maybe more than 1 second, but it's not a premiere anymore. That's, to me, that's awesome. It's not a premiere. It's up. It's ready to go. So let me copy this link real quick. Come back over here. I'm going to paste it right here. If you haven't seen the trailer, you can go over. It's only 2.5 minutes long. You can go watch that and then come back over and, you know, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me pin it. Pin message. Okay, that is the trailer. Now let me go back up and... I'm sorry if I'm not getting to all these questions. I'm trying to go through all of them, and I'm a little bit behind here. I get rambling here, but to me, this is... I couldn't even sleep last night. I couldn't wait. Like, I don't know what you guys were thinking, but like, I couldn't wait to show it to you guys. Like, you know, I've seen it a million times, so I know every little part of it. I made it, but you guys, I couldn't wait to show you guys. All right, let me see. Tommy wants to know, is it a weight off my shoulders to get the trailer out? Yes, it is, because now the trailer's out. I can share it. Hopefully this trailer, literally, I've never really had a video go viral. I'm hoping this trailer goes viral. I'm hoping the horror community picks this up. I'm hoping people review it. I'm hoping people have me on their podcast and interview me. I'm hoping people, you know, write reviews about this. I'm hoping all of these things happen. If anybody has any contacts or any pull for this, please get in touch with me. We need to talk about, we need to put this out there. You know, we need to get people excited about this. The good thing is we aren't really sure when the movie's coming out, so we have that much time to get this trailer in front of the masses, to get people excited about this. And in the meantime, maybe, no promises, because I got a lot going on, maybe I'll cut like a second trailer and maybe a different kind of angle. But let me tell you, that took a full month to do that. Like that, a month isn't long. Well, a month working on it every single day to the wee hours of the night, coming back, just being obsessed with getting this right to get that where it was. And even longer to do the actual movie. Yeah, Graven. Yeah, a lot of zombie movies don't try to explain how it happened. I actually do. See, I've been telling myself for years, actually I wrote this years ago, but I've been telling myself, if there really was a zombie apocalypse, what would be the most plausible explanation? So I went out and I tried to find the most reasonable, logical, realistic thing that could happen. And this is what I came up with. So, you know, even though it's a vegan themed movie, maybe people will look at it as like, yeah, this is the most realistic zombie movie there would be. So, can we look forward to any vegan product placement that would be exciting for vegans to pick up on? Yes, in this movie, there was a few companies that actually responded to me with a positive instead of a negative or nothing. Which, you know, I'm going to try to focus only on the good things, not the bad things. So the companies that reached out to me, or that I reached out to, sent me products to put in the movie and to share and feed the cast and crew with catering. So we've got a few different things in there that you'll be able to see, that everybody knows these companies. And just know that I reached out to like so many. The drone shots at the beginning make your part of New York look beautiful. You know, that first shot that you see wasn't even a shot until this fall. Okay, so that wasn't an original drone shot, but if you're new here, you probably don't know who Rachel is, but those of you that know Rachel, you know Rachel. And her dad came over to the house with his drone to film some stuff. And he filmed those trees directly over my house, the one that I just moved out of. And I looked at it and I'm like, oh, I would love to use that for my movie. And he gave it to me. He just gave me the thing and I credited him. He's in the credits. But I swapped that out as the first shot of the movie and of the trailer. I love that shot. All those trees kind of swaying in the wind. And that's directly over my house, which I don't live in anymore. But yeah, that drone shot was that. The other ones were from the original, when we originally filmed it. But that one right there, I traded out with the former original shot, which I did keep in there at a different location. 5 to 6 hours. Okay. New York is especially beautiful in the fall. Okay, I'm finally getting to where you said we are still alive. So that's when I lost you guys here. So we're really far behind. I'm going to try to catch up. If I didn't get your question, you can always write it again. Some of your favorite movies are low budget movies. Yeah, because it's like they come from the heart, you know? There was one movie that I saw that I didn't really like that could have been good. It was they had $72 million budget. And I'm like, dude, give me a tenth of that. You know, it was Army of the Dead. Way too high of a budget. Beautifully shot. Beautiful cinematography. Good actors. Just wasn't good. Too long. It was like Shaun of the Dead meets Ocean's 11. That's just my, $72 million, really? Hey, Sarah, dealing with some snow. Thank you. Deal with your snow. You can always come back, watch it. You guys can watch the trailer many times if you want. How long did post-production take? Well, I worked on it here and there in 2023, but since November of last year until now, I've worked on it way too much. I was doing literally 8 to 14 hour days every day, no day offs. When I started, I gave myself a goal. I said, I need to have this done. I was done with the rough edit on Easter. And then I had to go in and do so much more. The rough edit was done. Now I had to go in. I had to color grade it, which took a while. I needed to color correct, color grade. I needed to work on the visual effects, which took an incredible amount of time. And then I had to go in and cut it down shorter. I took 21 minutes off of it. It took a long time. This is what has consumed me, okay? And now think about that, and now think about doing all that work without getting paid. So now that's why I'm in the situation I'm in. Not being able to have a roof over my head, leaving the place. So now I got to get back in the groove of trying to get my YouTube channel going again and do what I was doing. Otherwise, I'm, going to go get a job at Target or something. I don't know. But that's what I put all of my time and effort into. And I edited a feature film. I did a trailer for a feature film. I did all the things that I dreamed about finally one day I would do. And it feels good, to have this done now. Would I do it again knowing everything I know now? I don't know. It was a lot of work, a lot of problems, a lot of frustration, a lot of challenges that I had to go through. And but now that I'm done, it feels that much better that I got it done. The running time of the movie with the credits. Now, also know the credits are there's so many people in there from the Kickstarter alone. There's almost 1,000 names in there from the Kickstarter alone. The movie with the credits is 1 hour and 51 minutes. I would have liked to have it a little bit shorter, but that's where we're at. Before I cut it down, it was 2 hours and 12 or something like that. So at least I got it under 2 hours. And when you watch the movie, I don't know if you're going to remember by the time it comes out, watch all of the credits to the very end, because I did that thing. Wait, there wasn't coyotes? No. Shannon, thank you for posting that. If everybody goes ahead and does this, or if you see other people post it, go ahead and like it. Tell people you just saw the trailer. Go watch the trailer. It's something exciting coming out here. After all, it is, whether people like horror or not, people can debate that all they want. They don't like horror. They don't like the violence, whatever. There is a vegan message in here. I'm not expecting the majority of people to go vegan after they watch this, but I'm sure there will be, people here and there that will watch this and will think differently and decide maybe I'm going to try it out, because It did it again. I don't know why I keep losing you guys. Like, I just lost the page. As long as I'm not losing you over here, I'm losing my religion over here. So what's going on? I'm still a little bit behind on the comments. I'm trying. Okay, there's where I posted. Where do you get your protein? Tofu. Eloise says, I live very close to you. I've actually seen you in person a few times, but I've never spoken to you and would love to be able to watch the movie at a local theater. So I don't know where you saw me, maybe Wegmans or something. But yeah, I want to do a premiere here in the Syracuse area. I've got a friend that I've showed stuff at the Palace Theater, and he currently works at the Most. I got to reach out to him. He actually gave me the suggestion to film at that drone shot that comes in at that little gas station. He gave me the suggestion to go there, and I'm so glad he did because I love that place. But yeah, I do plan on doing the premiere. I don't know what that's going to be for the Kickstarter people and friends and family. If we need to fill it up more than like local people, but I would love to be able to show it at least once or twice here in the Syracuse area. You know, play it maybe at the Palace or the Most. That would be amazing. I would love to do that. The problem is I have to wait for some of these film festivals because some of the festivals have very strict rules on like whether you show it in public before you show it at the film fest. So once I do that's the goal, is to get it into a film fest or two and get the laurels around it. Hopefully maybe win, but you know, even getting into a film festival and showing it, that's still pretty cool. And then getting it out there. No, this doesn't give comedy vibes, but there are things that I think vegans would laugh at. Okay, maybe not your average horror fan, but some of the inside kind of like banter, you know, being a vegan for so long, you might pick up on and laugh at. Yes. I'm trying to think, what is I don't know. To me, it's not scary. To me, it's not funny. It's not scary. It's just, it's my work, you know? Like, I've seen it so much. There are parts that I really, really like that I go back and I watch over and over to see is there any way I can possibly make it better. Personally, the end of the movie is my favorite. Also, my dog is in it. This is Indy, who is no longer with us. And to me, this is like, it's amazing that I was able to immortalize him forever in a film. And it's not even like he's in it so much. Like, he doesn't have that much screen time, but he's the most integral part of the movie for telling the story, and the importance of his part in the movie. So, Vegan Lee, thank you. I'm glad you liked the trailer. Is there anybody that didn't like the trailer? Shh, don't tell me. I don't want to hear about it if you didn't like it. How many times have I seen it? Like, honestly, I can't. Hundreds of. Because not only did I go over it every time and meticulously. I don't know if Lena's still here, but Lena is one of my producers. We went in and we just blocked off every different scene, and we just looked at it and said, how can we make this scene better? Whether it had to do with the editing, the color, the sound, the music. We had to we took months going over all the music that we were going to do. We weren't able to get all, so we used a lot of royalty-free music, but I'm so happy because there's this one song that a local musician here in Syracuse did years and years ago, and I really wanted to use it. And, back when I first started this back in 2018, I asked him, and he was totally on board, but then he took it away. He no longer wanted to for reasons I won't get into, but legal reasons and stuff. But then I went back to him again earlier this year, and he totally said I could use his music. Not only that song, but other songs of his as well. And I ended up hearing some other songs that I never heard before, and then so now I have like a few different songs of his in this movie. Without those songs, this movie wouldn't be what it is. He was more than happy to give me this. In fact, when I went down and met him in person, down in Syracuse, down in the city, he told me, he goes, if you make like $100 million on this, I just want you to know, I don't care. Like, you can have the music, you can have it no matter what. And I was like, wow. I mean, obviously, if that were ever the case, I'd throw him some for doing that. But the whole point was he was just letting me use that music, and it really makes, when you see the movie, you'll understand, and we can talk about it more. But the music makes so much of movies. Without the right music, you don't have the perfect scene. Am I doing another live stream tonight? I don't know. I don't know. I might do another one on Instagram, telling people to go over there. Maybe Facebook, even though I haven't done a Facebook one in years. I don't know. Yeah, the makeup was vegan as well. I keep doing this because my hands are so freaking cold right now that I'm like trying to warm them up on my... Yeah, everything that we could do in this movie. There's a baseball in this movie at the end. And, well, actually it's not at the end, but we filmed it at the end. And I went above and beyond to find a vegan baseball that wasn't leather. So yeah, this movie is by and far... Now, like, obviously there's things that I can't, like we filmed some of the stuff in a grocery store. So, like, there's things in the grocery store that's not... Like, obviously I couldn't take everything out of the grocery store and do that. And not everybody in the movie was, for obvious reasons. If I could have got everybody to be vegan, that'd be awesome. But not all the actors, not all the crew, the cast and crew were vegan. It was actually a very small percentage. And I tried. I reached out to... I did a pretty much a worldwide post. I said, I'm looking for anybody that can be in this area. Obviously, we were looking for the vegans, but... I don't know. Maybe if this movie makes it big and it draws attention to it, then maybe the next one that we do, we'll get a bigger budget. We'll get more vegans that want to be on board with this. A lot of people said no, and a lot of people just didn't respond. So, I could only do what I could do. And, it just came, the realization I'm not going to get what I wanted. I'm not going to get all vegan. There are, like, Tommy's in it. Tommy's a vegan. Stacy's in it. Stacy's a vegan. The character that played Paige, her name is Julia, and she's a vegan. Now, I did not know her. When she responded to the ad, to play the part, I was like, oh, she'd be perfect for Paige. And I was like, she's like, she was kind of like, because she was vegan, and she was like, oh, I just want to know if there's going to be anything there for catering, like, that I can eat, because I'm a vegan. And I'm like, oh my God, I have an announcement to make, like, everything's going to be vegan. And she was like, oh my God. So that was awesome. So yeah, and a lot of people from the Kickstarter came in. Your home decor is horror themed, Halloween. That's how mine... I don't have my own place right now, but that's how mine is. Obviously, when you knew I had horror stuff all over the place, but yeah, love it. Yeah, Dr. Gregor did an amazing job. I need to send the trailer to him and say, Dr. Gregor, here you are, because he hasn't seen it either since... That was our second day of filming with Dr. Gregor, which means it was August 28th, 2022. So that's like 2.5 years ago. We have a dinner scene that's supposed to be like, and those burgers that they were eating, that was supposed to be meat. That was supposed to be non-vegan. But obviously it was all vegan. Like, we actually got to use a restaurant for that scene. So John was actually back in the kitchen cooking up all these real vegan things, which we used in the movie, but also when people were on lunch break and stuff, like he was making whatever they wanted to eat. So we had those burgers. We obviously wanted to portray that they were like not vegan, but all those burgers were actually vegan. They were Pretzilla buns and like BioLife cheese and all that stuff. Jin just said, just watched it, loved it, love seeing Indy. Yeah, I love that I was able to put Indy in the movie and also in the trailer. Am I doing a TikTok live? I might try that out. I don't know. Planning on releasing any of the cuts once the movie is out. Lisa, which cuts do you mean? Like behind the scenes, that kind of thing, or what? Are there any cool cameos we should be on the lookout for? I mean, I think the most well-known cameo you guys already saw, Dr. Gregor, Jane. I've already released that Hench Herbivore does a little scene there. Thanks for stopping by, Shannon. Have fun at work. How was Indy on set? So here's the thing. You got to remember, like, the sound effects we used to make Indy look like he was whimpering or crying or whatever, those were all sound effects to make it look that way. Indy had a ball. So Indy, as you know, most German Shepherds are like this. I was Indy's favorite person, okay, in the whole world. He always wanted to be with me all the time. So when I went out to shoot these long days of filming, some of them were only like 7 or 8 hours. Other ones, like our biggest one was like 18 hours. We didn't do too many of those. We did mostly, and that was like rotating cast. So we didn't have everybody there, that except for just some of the crew and me and Laser. But other than that, most of our days were like 8 to 10. And that meant I would be away from Indy all that time, which he didn't like very much. So he was really chill, and he was cool that he could go there and hang out with me. Obviously, when I was doing my stuff, like I'd have somebody else watching him or something like that. But he had a really good time. You will be able to tell a little bit that this was like he stopped being able to walk last year. This was filmed 2.5 years ago. So you can see a little bit of deterioration on, the way he was walking and stuff. But remember, I had to walk him every day anyway to prevent him from not being able to walk. So we walked all over the yard every day. And during the movie, I made sure, like, the scenes where you see him walking, we literally did those one take. We didn't say, Wendy, back here, point one, over. I refused to do that with him. So he basically was just having fun, hanging out with us, going for walks, eating treats. So I don't want people to get the wrong idea with that. Indy loved being with me at all times, and he had a great time doing this movie as well. Some of the sound effects might make people think otherwise. I know. Here's an example. We used some of his whining and whimpers, which he was not actually doing while you're seeing it. There's a scene where we were over at my friend's property doing an outside at nighttime scene, and he was there. Now, I literally had to run back down to the house, which was, a couple 100 feet away, and get something. I didn't want him to have to walk all the way down there with me and back up. So I literally, had somebody watch him. Here, he was on a leash. Keep him with you while I go do this. I don't want him to have to go all the way back down and up the hill. So I ran down to the house, do this thing, and he was whining and whimpering that I left him. Because, if anybody has a German Shepherd or a dog that's like overly protective of you, or like just got, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't even think right now. But anxiety, when, separation anxiety, you know that this is true. So he starts whining and whimpering because I'm out of his sight now and he can't see me. So then I run back up there and he's fine again. Well, when I went down there to do that, my sound guys thought it was a good idea to get some sound of him doing that. So we have that in the movie to use throughout the movie to make it sound like different parts. He's whining or whimpering or crying. So just know that. Just know that he was pampered and babied, and he had an amazing time. So yes, Zeke is a lot younger and vibrant, but Zeke was he just gets really crazy around people, and I mean, not in like a bad way. He doesn't like, he's very, very friendly, but he would not be able to do this, what I needed him to do. And this was about me, and this really was an homage to my dog. And this was an ode to Indy and our friendship through the 13 and a half years that I was with him, and the friendship that he gave me. And I dedicated this movie to him. So this is another reason to go watch the movie, because it's his last performance ever. So, and I think he really steals the show. And the message is brought to you by him, pretty much. Will there be bloopers? There's not really too many bloopers, unfortunately. Tommy, yeah, all the makeup that was used was vegan. Kathleen says, just jumped over to watch the trailer and left me wanting more, which is the purpose of the trailers. Yes, that's what we want. We want people to watch that trailer and cannot wait to watch this movie. Because, that's how trailers are, right? Like, if I see a trailer and I'm just like, meh. But if I see a trailer and I'm like, oh, I can't wait for this movie to come out, and then maybe I forget about it, and then the movie starts to come out, I'm like, oh, I remember seeing the trailer for this. I wanted to see this, That's what I want. I want people to watch this trailer and just kind of have it in the back of their head like, oh, I saw the trailer for that movie. I can't wait to see it. Will there be 4K Blu-ray? Rocky, good question. I don't know any of these details yet, but that's something I really am going for. I really want there to be physical copies of this movie. I know that's not the way of the future for a lot of people, but for me, I want there to be Blu-rays. I want to have posters. I want physical things for this movie to mark, like, this is the biggest thing that I've ever done. This is the hardest I've worked on anything in my entire life. Like, when you haven't heard from me or seen YouTube videos from me, I've been down here plugging away, making this movie as good as it possibly can get. Craig said to me today, Craig watched it last night and he really liked it. And I woke up to a text message from him today saying, like, man, I woke up, and this is like 5 something in the morning, I think. I have to go look at it. I don't remember. But he said, I woke up thinking about the movie. I can't stop thinking about it, especially the end. And I'm like, see, I did it. That's what I wanted. That was my goal, because I love it when a movie does that to me. And it's very rare, but sometimes I'll watch a movie that I feel is so good that I wake up and I'm thinking about it for the next week. And that's what I wanted to do with this movie. And the formula that I have in my head, that I thought was, the reason why I went ahead and I did that, I just basically said, what does that to me? I figured out what does that to me, and I tried to replicate it in my movie. So if more people feel the same way that Craig did, then I think that we got a good thing going here. Because that's a huge compliment to me, just that he said that. Because now I know he's not just saying that he liked it because he was my friend. And he supported it in the Kickstarter. I know that he truly did like it. What videos do I plan making going forward on my YouTube channel? I'm not really sure. Like, I want to keep doing. Personally, I want to cover everything. This is what I put my life into for the last few years. I want to be able to talk more about the movie, to give little teasers, talk about the trailer. That's what I want to do. I want to pursue this. I want to make another movie at some point. I want to write a script for part 2. I want all of that. I mean, I know that's a little bit of a teaser saying like there could be a part 2. I don't know. How did the non-vegans like the catering? As far as I know, John was making the food. He made some of the food at Strong Hearts. So as far as I know, they enjoyed it. There was always something there. Obviously, I'm not like a professional Hollywood movie where they got like unlimited stuff. But I always had something on set. I always had at least snacks and stuff. And if they went over a certain amount of time, we brought in like lunches, meals, dinners. John made like different things like wraps. Sometimes we did pizza. That day at the diner that we filmed, we made burgers for everybody, fries. We had a good time. What was the biggest cost in the making of the movie? The biggest cost, which is usually the case for any business, was paying cast and crew. Paying the cast and crew was the biggest expense. We did a lot of things as cheap as we could otherwise. One of my examples, that I was with Laser one day. We're driving around Syracuse trying to pick up different things from Marketplace. We needed furniture. We picked up a hutch for free, and then we bought another one. We bought another hutch that I needed for a scene. It cost like $50. When we went there to pick it up, the lady sold it to me, and her son was there, and her son was interested. And I said, hey, if you're interested in being an extra in the movie, meet us down, blah, 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 tomorrow at, early in the morning. He had a 1948 truck that his dad left him, and I said, that'd be cool if you drove that. So he did. He was the first one there. He's actually the guy, not my brother, the other guy that's eating the burger. And I don't even know if he knows that this trailer is out, so I'll have to text him. I have to go back through. And then we were able to use that orange Mustang because we filmed at that old gas station. And they saw that we were filming. They said, hey, if you're in need for an old car like this, let me know. We'll be in Syracuse tomorrow. And I was like, oh, my God, yeah. So he let us use that. So, yeah, I had to buy some things. Like I bought like a bed set, Marketplace. Like we did as cheap shopping as we possibly could. But we were driving around Syracuse picking different things up, and we saw like a sofa chair on the side of a road. I'm like, should we stop? So we stopped. We probably thought like, this could be like flea and like whatever. We didn't know. We looked at it. It was a little bit broken, but we're like, yeah, it works. So we picked it up, and it's in the movie. Stuff like that. No animals were harmed in the production of this film, obviously. And it says it in the credits, and the letters are bigger than every other font in the credits. So, okay, so Mike says, for people who know you, they would never think that Indy was uncomfortable at any stage in the film. Yeah, that's correct. I'm talking about people that don't know me and my bond with Indy. So somebody might be like, oh, exploiting animals. It's like, no. Me and my dog, this is where I draw the line here. There's certain things where you can like make a case exploiting animals. But as far as veganism goes and stuff, me and my dog, like I saved him, he saved me. Making this movie together was an adventure. Everybody there that was there loved him. Everybody knows that he was never in any kind of like discomfort or anything. He was with me, and that's all he wanted. Like he was with me. He got treats. He got pets. He got attention. He literally. I rewrote this because when I originally wrote it, he was like young and spry, and he could do whatever. Jump up into the back of a truck. you know, when I did this, I was like, well, I could get somebody else with a dog, but that's going to cost a lot of money, and I don't feel comfortable with that. But what I do feel comfortable with is being with my dog. And I know my dog better than anybody, and we know each other. And if he was ever uncomfortable, I would know it. So, you know, instead of leaving him home while I was out making a movie, I brought him with me. And literally, I don't even think he knew he was making a movie. He just had to just be him. It's like, okay, so now I can't give us. I would love to tell you something, but I can't. It would give too much away. But anyway, he literally was like, "Hey, we're gonna walk over there now. Okay, let's walk over there." You know, and we filmed it, and that was a scene with Indy. Um, so remember, like I needed to walk him every day so his legs didn't start to freeze up. He was getting to the point where he couldn't walk, and and those of you that know his story know that like last year and the beginning of this year it was horrible, but like I did everything I could for my boy, and like I had a sling around him to help him walk. So he couldn't walk anymore, so I refused to like let him just go. So I walked him. I walked out there with a sling around him every day, several times a day, so he could go outside and get a little bit of fresh air, walk around, go to the bathroom, all of that stuff. And it got to the point where that was no longer, we don't have to talk about that, but like you guys know. Yes, so Indy is the message. Indy is pretty much the vegan message in this story. Is there any chance my film could end up on a streaming service? Yeah, I mean, that's possible. Like there's another guy that's in my movie, and he just released a movie that you guys can go check out. It's a Halloween movie called Creeping Death, and he actually made it on the top 10 of Screambox. And the number 1 on Screambox was Terrifier 2. Well, his movie made it to the top 3, and then it made it to the top 2. And when it made it to the top 2, Damian Leone of Terrifier reached out to him and said, "Hey man, like congratulations, would love to see your film." And then his film made it to number 1. For 2 weeks, it held the number 1 spot, and now I don't know what it is now, maybe 1 or 2. But anyway, he's in my movie, and he released his movie. It's on Screambox, it's on Prime. It's probably on a couple other places, but he actually watched the movie when it was done. Him and the guy that plays Drew, Ryan, they came over to my place about a month ago, and we watched it. So I got to talk to him a little bit about like how he went about doing all that. So it's possible, yeah. But if you haven't already, go check out his movie called Creeping Death. I know I'm a little bit far behind. We have another super chat here. Vegan Lee, I'm just seeing it now. I'm scrolling a little bit late. Thank you so much, Vegan Lee, for that $20 super chat. The trailer is so professional. Thank you. That means so much to me. I just watched it several times. It's so legit. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I put everything into this, and although I'm guilty of not always doing my absolute best on some of my YouTube videos. Some of them don't look as well done as they could. But I want you to know I'm definitely capable, and I spent everything on this movie to make it as professional as I possibly can. So you will not see any slacking there. I did everything I could to make every scene as good as it could. And that wasn't just okayed by me. It went through my producers as well. So we all looked at it over and over and over again. And if we ever had something to talk about, like, maybe this doesn't work right, like we'd go back and I'd either say, no, I like how it works, or yeah, you're right, maybe we could do this instead. And that's what we did through the whole movie. And that's why it took so long, you know? How difficult was it to get permits to film around town? It wasn't bad at all. There was 2 or 3 places that we didn't have to get permits, but we needed to show insurance. So I had to get insurance for those days, and we had to show insurance. We didn't have, our permit was basically they let us film. And then there was other places that they just didn't care. They were like, you know, like even places out in the middle of nowhere, I still found who the owner was and asked them, and they were cool. Yeah. And then other places were like the diner we shot at was a place called Theodore's here, not too far from where I live. And my mom would do plays there and stuff. And we just asked them, and she was super cool and said, yeah, sure, go ahead. So we filmed that there. We tried to get other diners before, and they just were not responding to us. And when they finally did, they were like, I'll say it, they were jerks. They were real jerks. They were like, yeah, well, the last guy did this, and we don't want to let people do it. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, and I'm like, we would only need one day. He goes, yeah, well, you wouldn't have more than one day anyway. And I'm like, okay, we're not going to go here. I love your diner, but sorry. So we found this other place, which wasn't quite a diner. It was more like a restaurant, but it worked way better in the end. I'm glad we went with them. I'm like spilling the tea. I just can't. I'm so real. I can't. Like, I don't know. What else we got here? Yeah, I didn't really have to get really any permits. We got permission to use Cayuga Community College out in Auburn, New York. We got permission. Like, I got permission. I followed through so many times, and like, I'm like, please, like I felt like they were like going to, and maybe not, but like I couldn't do, like, so many experiences from this movie, like, that I put in here came from me growing up as a kid. And one of them, I just had to do it. Like, there was talks about filming this out in LA at one point, but then we filmed it right where I grew up, and I needed to put my high school in there. So I contacted whoever was in charge, of the high school that I graduated from 30 years ago. And I said, like, hey, I graduated here. I'm making a movie. I would love to be able to use it. So they finally talked to their board, and they were like, yeah, you can use it on this day. So we came in. It was like, there was only like one day that we could, do it before, like, there was going to be people there again. So we did it in the middle of the summer, and we got to go in there and, show the high school that, that I went to, that I graduated from. So that was pretty cool. And people that are watching this, that graduated from that high school, like, that's important, because I come from such a really small town that not really much happens here. It's like, it's the home of the Wizard of Oz. It's the home of L. Frank Baum, the guy who wrote the Wizard of Oz. So we have Oz parades, we have a yellow brick sidewalk, we have Oz themed in the small little town. And also Dave Mira went to school here too. So Dave Mira was one of the most decorated X Game BMX riders. Rest in peace, Dave. I went to school with him. I did know him. So yeah, those were the two things that came out of this small little town. So it was nice to be able to film a movie here in the small little town. So I wanted to do that rather than go somewhere, and I filmed a lot of the other stuff in Syracuse. Like, we have like a really cool scene that was filmed in Hotel Syracuse in the basement, which was built in, I think, 1912. So that's pretty cool. It looks like straight out of Nightmare on Elm Street. So that was like an homage to Nightmare on Elm Street. We got train tracks, was like an homage to Stand By Me. I don't know if people are going to get this, but there's a slight thing. I'll probably have to tell people, but like, I knew it. Like, I'm like, what did I do this? Like, there's a scene in here, like, only the best horror fans are going to get it, but it's like from Lost Boys. It's a very, I don't know. When I did it, I knew. And I'm like, I had to think, I'm like, what movie was that from? I just did something that the character does in the movie. Like, what movie? Because it's not like a main thing. It's just a very subtle thing. And I'm like, oh my God, Lost Boys. And, yes, I do want to, like, I've always wanted to make t-shirts of Indy, even before I made the movie. So I will, at some point, make Indy t-shirts, because not only was he my dog and everything, and people love German Shepherds and dogs and Indy, but also he is an integral part of A44, which is now an official movie. It's not like, this isn't a YouTube thing. This is a movie. We have an IMDb. We made the real movie. Like, we did it. Was Dave Mira my age? Dave Mira was 2 years older than me. But I went to high school with him. I remember him in high school. I I went to his house a couple times. We were supposed to go to a skate park in Pennsylvania, and then he canceled. I went with his friends. We went to Vermont. We went to a skate park up there. I have movies of it. This was back in like '94. And the last time I talked to Dave was down in Armory Square, Syracuse. And he actually recognized me. He's like, "Hey, Coon Dog," because, you know, they called me that back in high school. Don't you guys call me that. Because my last name, Cooney. He's like, "Coon Dog," and he offered to buy me he was buying everybody cigars because it was a cigar bar, which I don't smoke, and it was the big night before Thanksgiving, and everybody goes down there. So I was with some friends who dragged me into a bar, and also, "Hey, Coon Dog," it was Dave, and I was like, Dave, what's up?" And he's like, "Hey, get him on." I'm like, no, thanks, I don't smoke, I don't want one. So he's like, "Cool, whatever." And that was years ago. But I remember him biking down here when I was a little kid. I was a skateboarder, and I'd see him biking when he was a kid. And I remember, like, he's doing all these tricks I wanted. Like, he's doing a cherry picker, if you know what that is, riding bikes. And he would do all kinds of things. He would ride it in the Oz Day Parade, too, with, like, some of his friends. And to me, they were like the group of kids riding bikes, like the group of kids in E.T. So, like, I actually rode a bike before I skateboarded, but then I started skateboarding, and that just became my thing, you know. I saw Gleam in the Cube, and I was like, that was it. Armory Square, yes, Armory Square. He used to have an apartment right above there, too, by the Blue Tusk. And I saw him in Al's, if you guys want more detail. But do I own a drone, or did you rent one for the shots? No, my director of photography owned the drone, so we used that. And then the other drone for the very first shot over the trees, that was Rachel's dad, Rachel I used to live with. Her dad had a drone, came over, and those trees are directly above the house I just moved out of. Also, the house I lived in, which I don't live in anymore, I literally moved a month ago, a lot of the movie is filmed there. So you've seen some of those parts in that trailer that were filmed at that house. So, yeah, A Love Letter to My Own Town. And actually, the very first scene starts in a little creek in the back of my parents' house where I used to play as a little kid. And the scene, just so you know, I'm not going to tell you, but when you do watch the movie, if you remember me saying this now, that very first scene, although I did it a little bit differently, it's a real event that happened in my life. So that's why it's in there. How close am I to Vermont? I'm pretty far from Vermont. We took a day trip back then, and we drove up there. I don't even remember the name of the place, but I've got videos of it. Actually, it was like the first video that I ever posted on my, not this channel, but my other YouTube channel in 2006. When I first had a YouTube channel, I posted something there. Anyway, I think I'm done. If you're just making it to this stream, go ahead and watch. Oh, I just lost it again. What's going on? My my computer page just keeps timing out, and then I got to restart it. I don't know what's going on here. Live chat. It keeps closing out on me. I don't know what's going on. Anyway. Stephen King vibes with the trailer, especially with the town atmosphere. Derry, Maine. Yeah, the small town. So I filmed a lot of that in my original small town that I grew up in called Chittenango, New York. And yeah, pretty much. And then, so it was pretty much filmed in Chittenango. Georgetown was that little gas station. Auburn, New York for the college that we used. The hospital scene, they had a nursing department in the college, and we used that. And we used a place called Canastota, New York, where the little restaurant was. And then, of course, Syracuse, New York, which was Hotel Syracuse, and then Lafayette for the house. So, yeah. all places that were here, near and dear to my heart. Rachel's not in the movie, no, but her house is in the movie. Her car is in the movie. The car that's pulling into that drone shot, pulling in that gas station, that was her car. She sold it, so she doesn't have it anymore. But, and she watched Zeke while I took Indy to film the movie. Back again, Ryan's back again. Everybody, Ryan Coughlin right here is Drew in the movie. So the guy at the very end of the trailer saying, "Hope they don't want to eat us too." That's Coughlin. He was one of the main stars of the movie. He's probably got the second most screen time in the entire movie, I would say. Tommy's in a movie. You actually get to talk in the movie too, Tommy. I figured you drove so far, you can have a line. Oh, you thought the movie was debuting today. Yeah, you probably are so disappointed if you thought that. Sorry, but the trailer's out. The trailer's out. Oh my God, Mike, that's such a great idea. I could pop a copy of the movie in the mailbox of my old house and see what they think. That would be amazing. That would be, oh my God, that would be so funny. Okay, so I don't know. There's a girl that plays the receptionist at the hospital. I think she might have been in the trailer. You might not have been able to see her in the trailer, but you can see Diane, the lady that's talking to her. Anyway, so this girl, she was only like 14 or something. Her mom was there to be an extra in the hospital scene, and I needed somebody to play a receptionist. I'm like, oh, I need a receptionist. She's like, yeah, I'll do it. And she's never, like, she was one of the best actresses out there. She was so good. So I gave her the script, and she played it. She played that part so perfect. And when I went to put 2 years later, this was just a couple months ago, I'm doing the credits. I got to make sure I meticulously go through like over 1,000 people, because the Kickstarter people, the people that were in it, like I had to, and I didn't know everybody's name because there's so many people that were extras and whatnot. So I had to find this girl's name, and I finally found it. And it turns out the last name of this girl is the same last name of the people that own the house that I was living in before I moved in there, because I still get their mail sometimes. And I'm just wondering, what if they were her grandparents and we didn't know that? So when she goes to watch the movie that she's a receptionist in, she also finds out that her grandparents' house is in the movie later on. That would be like mind blown. So, but I don't know. Yeah, Dr. Greger he was great. He was awesome. Let's see. Where would the movie be? We don't know at this point where the movie's going to be. Oh, I'm finally caught up, it looks like. I'm caught up. I try to read every question. If I missed your question, it's like I tried, but sometimes I start talking so much. Right now, like I said, we got to take it step by step, and right now we've entered into... Why'd you retract your message? We have to go out to film festivals and get it in front of people there, and hopefully maybe somehow the right people will see it and we'll get distribution, and then we'll know what we can do from there. But it's something that I think about, but I feel like I'm not too worried, because when the right people see this, like it's hard not to love this movie, and I'm not saying that because I made it, but I'm saying this because so many people love a movie with a dog in it, with a dog that is like an integral part of the movie, not just like, oh, somebody's got a dog that you see like for 2 seconds. I'm gonna have to message Dr. Greger after this. Now that the trailer's live, I just want to quickly pull this up real quick. I don't have to. Oh wow, it's already got 733 views in 1 hour. That's a lot. That's a lot. Most of my videos don't even get these days 300 views in an hour. So this is what we want. We want people to 123 comments. You guys are doing it. So comment, share, like. How many thumbs up do we have on this? 270. Here, I'm going to do it myself too. 276 now. We want as many people to go. Just go over there and give it that thumbs up if you haven't. Comment, because that makes the algorithm go. And this is what we want. We want maybe some distributor, you know, somebody that has pull will see this trailer and be like, I need to contact this guy. We want to put this on Netflix. I don't know. Hulu, Max. I don't know. Just something. It's a unique movie. It's unique because I wrote this. Is it like nothing had been done like this? It's like there's a vegan twist on it. You know, I'm surprised nobody made a vegan. People make vegan documentaries and stuff like that, but nobody did something like this, like an artsy cinematic, fictional horror thriller zombie movie that's got a vegan theme to it. You know. Thank you, Peggy. Thank you for that, for sharing. Thank you, Tommy. Thank you, everybody that shared. Oh, I would love to do that, AJ. There's a couple theaters, yeah, that I might be able to do that in. There is Palace Theater. We actually showed our French Toast video on here years and years ago. It was a small little a horror fest that my friend Jeff puts on there, and Jeff was actually in it, and we showed it on the big screen. So that was cool seeing a vegan zombie on the big screen, but that was like 12, 13 years ago. Oh, there's Rob. What did I miss? Rob. You know, I never say your last name because I don't really know how to pronounce it, but Rob Acosella. Did I say it right? Anyway, Rob is our amazing, talented sound guy. The sound that he did on this, like, I mean, the movie wouldn't be what it is without the sound. And a lot of people, professionals, will tell you the sound is more important than the video. Because if you go in to watch a movie and it's beautifully shot and the sound is so like scratching you, you're more likely to get up and leave than if you see a movie that is like all but the sound is beautiful. You're going to sit there and you're going to watch it. Okay? So the sound is very important. Rob did an amazing job, and I did a fair amount. Rob did all the sound design. I used his sound design to put together a nice trailer and to have audible sounds on there along with the music. But this was more about like boom, the big hits in the music, and also being able to hear what people are saying, which I have to credit Rob for that. Anyway, Rob did an amazing job with the sound. This movie, I can honestly say that, you know, like this has really good sound to it. And when you have a low budget movie, you don't always have the best sound. Well, we got the best sound. I think when I do YouTube videos and stuff, I might have at the most 4 or 5, maybe 6 tracks of different music. If it gets any more than that, I'm like, oh man, Rob had 350 tracks of different sounds and music going throughout this whole movie. So, needless to say, if I ever get like the opportunity to get handed a big budget to make a second sequel, Rob's the first sound guy I'm going to ask if he wants to be part of. And he's vegan, so yes, I did move. I don't live in that, which is now the A44 house, because so much of the movie, I would say the second half of the movie takes place in that house. And when I first moved in that house, I saw the hallway, and I was like, and you can see the hallway in the, you can actually see me walking in the hallway in the trailer. So if you went back over and saw it, yes, Rob has seen the whole movie, obviously, because he did the sound for it. And I've asked Rob for his advice on it. He likes it. He says the movie's good, and he wouldn't change any bits of it. So you're seeing Jaws next month with the Symphony. That will be yes. I saw E.T. a few years back with the Symphony, and that was amazing. And I, E.T. was like one of the only movies that actually would make me cry as a kid. And seeing it in the movie theaters, I said to myself, I'm like, I wonder if I'm going to get tears in my eyes at the very end of the movie again. And at the very beginning, the symphony started playing, and I was like, got tears in my eyes at the very beginning. I'm like, well, that answers that question. The hallway shot in the trailer is spooky. Yes, and it's like, I really didn't want to move, but like that hallway, when I first moved in there, I was like, oh my God, I need to film my movie in this hallway. Because that's what I like thought up when I wrote it, was a really long hallway. See, I mean, I'm not going to give it away what happens, but a really long hallway. And then when I went to see it, I was like, that's straight from my mind. I got my gloves on now because it's super cold down here. Dead by Dawn. Edinburgh Sky. I did look at a bunch of, I don't think I did that one, but I did one Brussels, I did one Estonia, Quebec, and then there's Sydney, and then there's London, and then all the rest of them I think are here in the United States. Unfortunately, none are that close of a driving distance to me, but I'm just hoping I get in a couple of these horror ones and people get to see this and I get to hear what they say. Anything I can help from Germany? I would love to go back to Germany. Pronounce, I mean, I don't know. We'll have to figure it out and talk about it. But tell people. By the way, Rocky, I did the whole my book tour in Germany. If maybe you already knew that, I don't know, but yeah. Now we just want to promote the heck out of this. We want people to go to the website to watch the trailer. We want to show people that there's a demand to see this movie. I know all of you guys know me as like the vegan zombie, and I want to break out there to the horror community somehow. I'm not sure how. I'll do interviews. I'll do whatever. Like this is a horror movie. It should be up there with, some of these other ones. And I would love the horror community to start talking about this like they do with every other new horror movie. So that would be great. I would get so many people to Sydney screening if it's accepted in the festival. I'll send you some other Sydney festivals as well. Yeah, that would be amazing. So needless to say, I'm super excited about this. If you have a platform, if you've got a lot of followers, I would appreciate it if you guys would. I mean, it'd be something for you to talk about too. It'd be content for you guys to talk to your following about this. If you know anybody that would want to do that, would want to have me on as a guest to do an interview. I mean, these are the things I need to do that I'm just really bad at. Like, I'm bad at like asking for things, but like I need to get this out here. So, I'm more than willing to do interviews or whatever. So, an artsy cinema in Hanover, could ask them for a screening. So I would love that, but we have to wait until we know, like, I know there's really strict rules for different film festivals. Like, you can't show it other places until you show it at there. So I got to wait until it gets out to, till I know if I'm accepted or rejected to some of these festivals. But I think I'm going to find out some of these on, actually I can just pull it up right here. Submissions. Let's see. I'm trying to find, so March, I'm going to know about one of them in January, one of them in February. No, two of them in January, one of them in February, and one of them in March. So that's 4 within the next few months. But the closest one is Day of the Dead International, and that is January 6th. So that's not too far away. Less than a month to go just to find out. That's not to get in. That's just to find out if I'm accepted. So... But yeah, that's all we can really do right now is share this trailer. Have people come over and follow me on A44, on Instagram, on Facebook. Let's get the word out. Let's get people excited. Let's have people go watch that trailer again. I'm glad, like I said, I couldn't even sleep last night because I was so excited to share the trailer with you. Like I said, I've seen it so many times. I didn't need to see it again. I just wanted to share. I wanted other people to see it. I want other people to... I want to see what you guys, what your thoughts are on it. So, we're already at 104 minutes. I know that my friend Matt is doing some kind of live tonight a little bit later. He plays... the character of Nick in my movie. He's the one that I said did the creep and death. So, Linda just posted the Instagram. Lena says, maybe Rocky could message you later about this, though. Yes. Is that, yeah, whatever you think. Lena is my producer, so yes. So many people. It implies I sleep at night in the first place. Yes, I know. But when I finally did get to... What I'm saying is when I finally did get in bed, I'm like, all right, let's go to sleep. And I'm like, oh, they're going to see it tomorrow. It's going to be how many more hours? Like I just couldn't get to sleep. I do have a movie poster, but if you wait a minute, I'm about to post... I don't want to do it on the same day as the trailer, so I'll probably do it tomorrow or the next day. But I do have another poster I want to show you guys. If you guys were one of the Kickstarter people, I did post it over there just because I wanted to know which poster you guys like better, the color or black and white. But there is another poster that I've posted on Instagram, Facebook, all these places. You had 2 hours of sleep before you woke up to see this? Well, thank you. Thank you, Mike. You could put printouts in local stores. Yeah, a printout, that would probably work. Put the poster up in local stores with maybe like an Instagram link or a website where people can go to, yeah. I have not seen the substance, but I really want to see the substance. Yes. Nicole says, I love your trailer. Thank you, Nicole. I love these. I love that people are loving this. I put a lot of time into it to make it lovable. A QR code, although I have no idea how to do a QR code, but yeah, that would work. Yeah, a QR code that would go to the website. I got a guy, Max, who is working on the website. I haven't had anybody go over there yet because it's not quite done. It doesn't have all the actors on there yet, and I don't want somebody to think that I purposely left them out. It's not done, and he's doing it in his free time. But we do have a website that it's got the IMDb and stuff like that on there. I know we got to update the IMDb. How's that coming along, Lena? Do you know? Victoria, good question. Been following you for years. Great video content. Could you explain in your own words why you think zombie films are popular? Yeah, ever since George Romero popularized the zombie in Night of the Living Dead, zombies are, and this is something that I've known for when I wrote the script 16 years ago. Zombies are something that people, for whatever reason, they love zombies. Like, there could be a phase where people are like, oh, there's too many zombie movies out. But a year or two later, they all go back to these zombies. I think for me, it's the apocalypse. Like, I love watching zombie movies for what is happening. Like, your everyday life turns upside down and you're in survival mode and what you would do. Now, the part that bores me, like, The Walking Dead was amazing for the first few seasons, and then it just got so redundant and boring, and then for me it didn't have a story anymore. But the beginning of these zombie things, not when it's like been like that for years and years and years, which I'm still wondering like how 28 years is gonna come across, because 28 Days Later is one of my favorite movies in that genre. But I don't know. There's something about the zombie that people they love. People love horror. You know, a lot of people, for whatever, I'm not saying everybody does, but a lot of people love horror, and I think it's that people love being scared. People love, you know, Halloween time. People, you know, love vampires and Dracula and werewolves and all. This is something that I've always loved, and you know, zombies aren't my favorite. You know. Vampires and probably next would be werewolves are my favorite of the horror genre. But I felt that there was a story to be told with zombies and an apocalypse, and kind of, you know, using it as symbolism to everyday people just not thinking about the things that they eat, and putting, you know, zombies eat flesh, and so do non-vegans, without really thinking about it. They're putting flesh in their mouths, and it's like, you are what you eat. You're eating death. You're eating flesh, and that's kind of how I started that. Not kind of. That's exactly how I started this channel. I did it in more of a light way, so you know, it appeals to more people in a non-judgy kind of way. And that's what I'm doing with this movie. It's my way of doing what I physically can in my lifetime to help animals, to support the vegan cause. Nobody's done something like this before, so I'm doing it. I'm doing a movie that's not based on facts. It's a horror movie. It's science fiction, and it's not a documentary, but it has a vegan message to it. And there's a lot of things that people will relate to. You know, even though it's not like a real movie, there's not really a zombie apocalypse, there's things that people will say, oh, that's me. Like, oh yeah, I can relate to this, or I can relate to that. And I'm not going to give that stuff away, but I did put a message in there, and I wanted to do it in a way that wasn't really judgy, but like a really practical way of life, you know? So I want people to watch this movie in a way that they want to see it, standalone horror movie, but also it's got a message that by the time the message comes around, it's undeniable for people. So I think I achieved that in this movie, and that's why I don't think a lot of people that I told this to believed me or believed in my vision, hence not being part of this or helping me with it. But now that it's out, hopefully people, like, you can't just like, you got to show people, like, and hopefully it shows people in the message in this movie when you see the whole movie. I mean, Craig was really blown away with it when he saw it. And I mean, obviously he's been my friend for a long time, so he believed in me. He supported the Kickstarter, so he just was waiting to see it, and he was quite surprised. He really liked it. So that makes me happy, and it just makes me even more excited for you guys to see it. But, you know, at least I could put the trailer out today, but I really wish, you know, the movie could be coming along too. But the movie is done. It's just, I got to wait to find out how we're going to release it to the people. Amherst. Yes. Is there another thing? I'm just trying to see. I was just talking for so long that I. you can guess the plot. As long as you haven't seen the movie, say whatever you want over on the trailer. If you want to write something, yeah. I mean, you can guess. I mean, it's fun to guess things, but I'm not going to say that I'm going to like, I'm not going to, I don't want to give things away because I know some people want me to give things away, but other people are more like me. They don't want spoilers. They want to see it for themselves. So I'm not going to like confirm or deny anything. You live there, you want to know how I came up with the town of Amherst. So even though I live in New York and there is an Amherst in New York, it's not necessarily the Amherst in New York. We went through great deals. I mean, there's a little bit of inconsistencies, but we tried our best. We made fake license plates, so you couldn't say, oh, I know what state they're in, so they got to be in Amherst, New York. There's an Amherst in almost every state, so I just wanted to make it look like where I grew up, so like in the northeastern part of the United States. And I picked Amherst for a reason. I did pick it for a reason. I thought the name sounded cool, but there is a reason, and unfortunately, I don't think that I should say why I picked it until maybe a couple years after the movie's out and people have seen it, and then I could go into why I picked what I picked. Because I don't want to give any spoilers away. And even though it's not too big, it kind of is. The trailer looks great. Can't wait to thank you, Kelly. Yeah, I agree, Rycron. I don't know how to say your name, Rycron. No spoilers. Anytown, USA. You got it, Rob. You haven't seen the trailer yet, but you'll watch after this. Yeah, go over there and check it out. It's only 2.5 minutes. Share it everywhere. I'm super excited. I want everyone to see this trailer. We got to get it up on my website now. We can finally share something. Before, I had this private link on my YouTube that I was like showing people on my phone, like, oh, my friends. I'm like, oh, check this out, like. Now I don't need to do that. You guys can share it. It's out there for everyone. And like I said, I might possibly, maybe if I get some time, make another cut of another trailer. Because here's my thought process on this. The trailer's getting, like, everybody's excited, right? You're all excited. But I don't know when the movie's going to come out. And what I don't want is for everybody to get wicked excited for A44, and then you wait so long before the movie that you're like, you forgot about the trailer, you're not excited anymore, it's not even in your mind anymore, and you're like, oh, I want people to be so excited to watch this movie. So that's why I feel like I might have to cut another trailer right before the movie comes out so people can get excited again and say, oh, okay, awesome. But if you noticed at the very end, it says coming 2025. And if I didn't post it now in December, then I'd have to re-edit that out saying coming 2025, because why would I post something in 2025 saying coming in 2025, So it purposely doesn't say when it's coming because I don't know the answer to that. I would prefer it to come sooner than later. But already, like, I wanted this to be out in 2019, right after we did the Kickstarter. And then I'm like, all right, 2019, okay, 2020. And then the whole pandemic. So then that was a couple of years we couldn't do anything. And then finally we're in 2022. I'm like, okay, we're filming it 2022. And then we'll put it out in 20. And then that didn't happen. And then, okay, I need this to be out in 2024. I really wanted this to be out around Halloween time of this year. So I got working on it, and it would look like I was about to do it. But then I got some advice. It's like, you're not quite ready. It's gonna fall off the face if you do this. And I'm like, oh man. So reluctantly, I had to say, okay, I can't do it on Halloween this year. I would have even been good with a Christmas movie. It just didn't work out like that. I need this to do as good as it can for everything that we put into this. So the best thing to do is to get it out right now in front of some film festivals, and maybe that can get eyes on maybe a streaming service, and then maybe we can get it out there to the masses so everyone can see it. Not just like, oh, local people are seeing it because I'm going theater to theater. Like, we want everybody to see this movie. Because even though it is low budget, I think it, personally, like, I think it's better than some of the movies I've seen on Netflix, okay? Like, obviously this isn't the best movie in the world. We had a very low budget, but it's from the heart. You know, you can see we put everything into this. And, you know, personally, I like movies like that. I like movies where I'm like, oh, this is a low budget movie. I want to see this movie. Because I know the difficulties. I know how hard it was doing things rather than having millions of dollars to throw at somebody here. Like, here's a couple $1,000,000, fix this with CGI. We didn't have any of that, you know? We did everything grassroots, everything as cheap as we could, would still be in quality. We had a very finite budget to do this. The alien octopus was such a no teasers. What made me decide to have a clean shaven? I needed to look as young as I possibly could. I mean, technically it never says how old I am, but I'm playing a college student, which technically you could be any age being a college student. But I still wanted to look as young as I possibly could for the part. Although having a little bit of a beard maybe would have been good too. I don't know. It's just keeping up, shaving it. Also, mind you, the character the character that I played was like, I didn't have somebody to play the character. Although I put out casting calls and nobody responded to that part. And the people that did respond, I asked them to read a part and send it back, and they never did. And anyway, needless to say, I put it out to like 3 more people, possibly, and we were getting down to this character having to act. It was the day of Dr. Gregor. And I'm like, if we don't have a guy to play this character on the day that we're filming Dr. Gregor, then I'm just going to play the character. So that morning, I shaved my face. I grabbed some clothes that I was like, okay, whatever clothes I wear are going to be the clothes for the rest of the movie. So I grabbed some clothes I put out the night before in case I didn't find somebody to read those parts and memorize those lines a day before. And then that day came and I'm still like, there's nothing in my inbox. I'm like, all right, I'm going to play this character. So that's how that happened. I played the character. You know, my makeup artist did put makeup on me on that first day, and I think it made me look worse. I think, like, it made lines on my face from, like, moving, and I looked at it, and I was like, this is terrible. And from that day, from the first day on, I refused to wear any makeup the rest of the movie. So, no. Yes and no. Tommy was there on the first day that I was that character. Oh my god, it did it again. I don't know why it's doing it. Is this doing this for anybody else? It keeps closing out on me. All right, skip live chat. Yeah, my chat keeps closing up on me. Yeah, Tommy was there on my first day doing that. Yeah, because you guys normally see me with a beard or a big beard, but like barely ever clean shaven. Because I hate shaving. Yeah, I played the character, and I've been like an extra in different movies, but I've never and I've done what I've done in The Vegan Zombie. My biggest thing was like wondering if I was good enough at acting for the part, but basically I was playing the parts that I wrote, that I knew what I was looking for. So I don't know. I'm not Brad Pitt, but I haven't had anybody say that like I was horrible. So you guys will have to make your mind up there for me. I had to be in. Well, the thing was, is this character was in it a little bit. I was gonna be in it regardless, but I had my eye on a different part, which was like a really quick part that I was gonna do. But this character that I ended up doing was in it a little bit more than that. So I was like, I got to be in it a few more days. So all right, um, and I'm directing it and all that as well. So a lot of the times I wasn't able to see like what was the, because we didn't have like a monitor, so I couldn't really see what I was looking at in the camera. So I had to just trust the DP to do the job to get the shots that we were looking for. So Rob says, when I first sent him the film to review before we started working, I was taken aback by the lack of the beard. Yeah, because you don't see me without the beard ever, and then all of a sudden I don't have a beard. I'm trying to look as young as I can. Um, I don't think that was a problem. I don't think I look old. I don't think I looked. I think, when you're doing a movie like that, and people say this, it's like people around me told me like, oh, it's fine. You could, it doesn't matter that, you're older than that. Like it's fine. So, um, yeah, they wouldn't say it to my face, which still makes me wonder, to be honest with you. I'm much better than Brad Pitt. Thank you, AJ. I know that's not true, but thank you. But yeah, Brad Pitt. When I work out, I'm striving to look like Brad Pitt in Fight Club or Snatch. So I don't know. I did my best. It was actually, yeah, it was my movie, so like obviously I'm gonna do the best I possibly can. If I don't feel like it was a good enough, now I'm gonna be like, all right, let's do it again. Let's start from the beginning. I can do it better. You know. See, here's the thing. I think everybody that was in this movie did a decent job, and I was the editor, so every single person, and we had people that had never acted before, and we also had an Emmy winner from Broadway, and every single person did a really good job. And in the footage, there were scenes that were not as good, but I did my best to make every single person look good. If they said something like everybody had things that didn't look quite good, including myself. And I cut those parts out. I made everybody look as good as they possibly could. Like when we were doing it, it's like, oh my God, this is gonna go in the movie. Like I'm thinking to myself, this is bad. But then when I got to the editing table, I was able to make movie magic happen and edit in a way where everybody looked like they did a really good job. So I can't speak for myself. I don't think I was horrible, but like somebody else might see me completely different than the way I see me. So I can't really talk on that. But everybody else I think did a really, really good job. And that includes Indy. Thank you, Among the Pines. I want people to be picky. I don't want people to be like, oh, this looks good because we're fans of yours. So obviously, I want people to actually look at it and be like, yeah, this looks like it's decently done. It just reached 1,000 views. Wow, that's awesome. And I can't even see what time I've been on here for about 2 hours now. See, I love talking about this stuff. This is the stuff this is all I've been doing in the last few years is this movie. So this is the stuff I want to be talking about. When you guys ask me questions about this, I get excited. I want to talk about it. Yeah. And it is also talking about veganism because the movie is the first vegan movie that's got a strong message there about compassion. You can tell people it's a movie about compassion with zombies, okay? It's a movie about passion with zombies. And I'll give credit. So I don't work with this person anymore. We don't work together, but the lady named Brooklyn came up with that phrase. So credit to her for that. It is a movie about compassion with zombies. So props to her for that. What's up, Chris Murphy? Howdy. Glad you like the trailer. I am like you know, like when I first got everything, I was like, oh my God, how are we gonna? I thought we were gonna have to go back and refilm some things. I was like, ooh, but then once I put it together and it started to come alive, I'm like, cause here's the thing, I wrote it a certain way, it was in my mind, and then we filmed it, and I feel like the way we filmed it was a little bit like some scenes were a little bit different than what I wanted up here. But for the most part, the main scenes I wanted were close to what I wanted. But we did what we could do. Because you always visualize something that's going to be a little different than what you can actually do. And then I got to the part where I'm looking at the footage and I'm like, oh my God. And then, so I'm trying to edit this. And as I'm trying to edit this, turning the raw footage into a movie, I'm realizing that I'm able to cut and meld this into something even different in a good way. So like I wrote it one way and I'm like, oh, this works like this. I'm actually making a new movie apart from my script. Like I'm putting this together in a way that I'm making something. So it was kind of making me, even though it was very time consuming and tedious and I don't want to go back and do it again, I will say that as I edited this, it was making me excited to see what I was creating, what was coming up. Like as I was doing it, I'm like, wow, I'm seeing this movie come together and I'm seeing it for the first time as I'm doing this. Wow, AJ, another one. Thank you so much. That's like 100 now. Thank you. Thank you, AJ. Thank you. With a little fox. I like foxes. Too bad there's not a fox in my movie, but yes. So everybody, please share this, share. This is a lot of changes once you start shooting. The reason nothing was being shot during the writer's strike is because writers need to be on set and make edits to the script in order to maintain the copyright. Right. But I was the writer in this case. So yeah, we had to change certain things, you know. We changed things as we were going. When things weren't working out for us, we found other ways to do it. Some of the things we did on the spot, and we had to figure out how we're going to do it because we had to change things, and it ended up coming out good. So I wish we could have this director's kind of commentary as we watch the movie, but that'll be sometime next year. We'll be able to watch the movie and have all you guys back in here, and we'll do one of these again where we can talk all about it. We can talk about, yeah, everything that we did to make the movie. And, you know, the other thing is maybe I'll have people from the movie. I tried to get Coughlin on here last night, but he's a dad and he was busy with the kids. But I was trying to get somebody from the movie to be, you know, to go live with, you know. So I think in the future we will be able to do that as well. Maybe I can meet up. Maybe I don't know. Who knows? Tommy, maybe I can meet up with you and screen the movie with you, and maybe we can get Tommy to be on it too and have his experience of how he felt like being an extra in the movie. Among the Pines, thank you so much for that super chat. And we got another fox with a heart too. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. All these super chats. I love it. You guys are Among the Pines, so kind, super. Yes, everybody is so kind. And I'm loving how everybody so far really likes the trailer. Everybody's excited, and it's you guys that are, you know, making this possible, and you know, the supporters of the Kickstarter, the people that are going to share this to get this out, because otherwise there's going to be a lot of people that have no idea that this is even a thing. You know, like, oh, I didn't even know you were making a movie. You know, because they don't see my content. So, and I think a lot of news organizations haven't shared this, which I don't know why. It's the first of its kind. If you have a news platform, please share this. I've written to a few of them and I haven't heard back, but like, share this. This is the first vegan movie that's not a documentary. Whether you like horror or not, you know? But it works. I've had countless people tell me over the years that the Vegan Zombie channel helped them go vegan. And I've had people say, I don't understand how this is vegan. You got violence in here. It's like, it's not real. It's horror themed. It's entertainment. And yes, it's helping people go vegan because people like reality. People like the real world. And people know that the real world consists of make believe things, you know, horror movies and zombie things and entertainment and being silly and being funny and, you know, kind of intermingling the two together to try to promote veganism in a fun way, you know. And that's just how I did it. You know, that's not for everybody, but hey, the movie is still it's the first vegan movie, you know. I know other movies maybe might have a little bit of a vegan, you know, cliche in it or something, but most of them are making fun of vegans. And so this one's a full-on vegan movie, and I'm excited to get it out there to be the first of its kind. You will share this with Dan Bell from the YouTube Film It channel. Oh, Film It channel. Okay, I'm not familiar, but that's awesome. It's violence against humans. We all know that. It's okay if it's violence against zombies because zombies aren't human anymore. Zombies are only going to try to kill you. And it's all make-believe anyway, you know? So, exactly. Film it. So, anyway, it works. I know it works because I've lived it for the past 16 years. It's definitely helped people go vegan. I've had people come up to me and tell me that. I've had people write me that. I've had people write me letters. I've had people make videos. It works. Okay, so the zombie rights activist. Luke, thank you for the share. Everybody, yes. Everybody sharing this. I appreciate it so much. This is the only way really we're going to get it out in front of people. Hopefully the right person sees it and is like, oh, we need this. Share it with the cranky vegan. We got to tag our favorite vegans in this to show people, like, we got to make it the shareability. Put in there, you know, like, first vegan movie, A44, share it. It's coming out. Be the first to share this and see this. Remember, this has only been live for a little over 2 hours, so you guys are the first to see this. So, you know, hopefully someday we'll be able to see it on a nice streaming channel or something, or even in the movie theater. Wouldn't that be great if we could get, even for like a weekend, like in select movie theaters? That would be so cool. What he means at the end when hopefully those things don't want to eat us too. He basically he doesn't want to die, and you know there's zombies, and he doesn't want to get eaten. Again, I'm not sure. I would like to maybe try to do a TikTok. I've never done that before, but maybe I'll do a TikTok live. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I haven't talked to Happy Healthy Vegan. I don't know what they got going on, but yeah. And everybody over here, go check, because they're live tonight. So go check them out after this. Not quite yet, but later tonight. And yeah, if you talk it up to them, like, I would be more than happy to be on their show again, and we could talk about it, even if they only want to do it for like, 15 or 20 minutes. I won't take up all their time, but that'd be cool too. And then they could have something to talk about if they're looking for content. Yep, and exactly. And this is Indy's last piece of work that he's worked on with me. And it was back in 2022 that we filmed it. So, that's right. Lena is the producer of this movie. She says, on a deeper level, animal agriculture is affecting everyone: viruses, antibiotics, pollution, etc. It's destroying water and land, animals. Yes, I need to message Jane after this now that it's live. Yeah, that was already like, we already talked about that, me and Jane. Victoria, that's a good question. I already addressed that earlier about having Indy in the film. Yeah, and I know you're just asking a question, but anybody that's gonna try to make a fuss about that, like, I got nothing for you guys. Like, if somebody's gonna try to start a fight with me about that, like, it's not even the same. Like, Indy was in the best hands possible, and the fact that he got to make a movie with me. Any vegan that is gonna say something that I don't want anything to do with those people. Like, they're dead to me. Like, that's how bad. Like, if you're gonna come at me about my dog, that's one thing that I am sensitive about. Like, F right off. Like, seriously. Like, not you. I know you're just asking the question, but it's a good question, and it's something that I thought about. My dog was taken care of better than any. I mean, he was my best friend, and this movie is dedicated to him. So the fact that somebody might get pedantic about something like that, I can see about somebody, riding horses in something like that, and they might bring something up. But to have my dog in there and try to come at me like that and say it's not vegan, and I'm sure there's going to be people that can do this, and those people, they get the, like, I don't know if I can control myself for those people, like, because this really does hit a nerve, as you can see. I've been vegan for over 30 years. I rescued him. He's in a lot of my other videos. To put him in my movie, and for somebody to try to say that, because, people that don't know movie making might think like, oh my God, he's whining and crying. Like, that's movie magic. Like, he was not doing that while we were doing the scenes that we were doing, but it sounds like he might be crying or whining or whatever. That all goes in after the fact, okay? It's not hard to get him to whine. All I have to do is walk away from him. He's got separation anxiety, so if I walk away from that, he starts, oh, where are you going? Where are you? Or if we get in the car and we're about to go for a ride and we arrive somewhere, like, if I go to my parents' house and I stop the car, he's like, like, that's all you need to do. Put a microphone up to him, and, that's not animal abuse. That's me giving my dog the best life he could possibly have. So, right, and that's the other thing. He wasn't an animal actor. Like, Indy was well trained anyway, because I trained him from the moment I had him. He was very well trained, which, they'll tell you, anybody that owns, like, especially German Shepherds, you train your dog right, and that's going to take away a lot of anxiety. Make them live longer, make them healthier, all that stuff. It takes away a lot of anxiety when your dog is well trained. So anyway, yeah. He was always a well-trained dog. He listened to me. He's not one of those dogs that, like, you open your door and they take off on you because they're not on a leash, which, I've had dogs like that when I was a little kid growing up. But definitely not Indy. And him being in the film was basically him hanging out with me. Otherwise, he would have been home for long hours without me. and he does have separation. He did have separation anxiety. So being with me was something that he wanted to be with me, and he was treated very well by everybody on set. Everybody loved him. He got treats. They pet him. Like, he was, in any of the scenes you've seen him do, he, like, there's a main scene that he does, and I'm just gonna tell you this, without trying to give anything away. He did it. We weren't even supposed to be filming, and I needed to go somewhere. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot something. I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab it. It was a prop that I needed for continuity. So, and we already walked down a trail. I didn't, and he goes for walks every day. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing weird about him going for a walk. And we didn't walk anywhere further than he normally would have. So we walked down a trail. Personally, I didn't want him to walk all the way back with me and back down there. So I said, stay with these guys. I'm gonna be right back. So I had to go get something that we needed in the shot. Otherwise, there would have been a continuity error. So I ran back to get it, and he was freaking out, and he ended up running after me. And when he did this, my DP got a video of him doing this, which was actually in the script, but we weren't trying to do that scene at that point. So we got it, one take. All of his takes that he did were literally one take. We had him do whatever he wanted to do, and we acted around him. And he had a good time. So, yeah, I know there's going to be people out there like that. And Victoria, I know you weren't saying that, but there will be people that will ask that question. And I'm ready for it because, like, I'm not a 30-year vegan for nothing. Like, yeah, if anybody comes at me with this, like, I want nothing to do with them. They're being extreme if they're going to say something like that. If they're going to write up articles about, like, oxymorons or hypocrites, like seriously, like, boom, like, you can tell it. That makes me a little bit mad. Not you, but like the whole thing, that people will be like that. And the fact that this movie is centered around him and my love for him and our the friendship that we have, if somebody's gonna, like, take that out, like, it's not. And that was the other reason why, because there was one other girl that had a German Shepherd that was willing to, like, that I could use her dog or whatever, and I was like, you know what, I don't want to have to use somebody else's dog, because then it gets to the point where, like, are we working them? Like, having Indy there with me was just a normal day of me and Indy hanging out, like, whether he walked around with me around my yard, he was 2 steps away from me wherever we went, all the way up until the time where he could no longer walk anymore, which was late last year, the beginning of this year. And we filmed this 2.5 years ago. So although you can kind of tell in the movie that he's a little bit starting to not be able to walk as good as he used to be, he's still very capable of walking and even running in the movie. So just know that we did not overwork Indy. He had a ball. He walked right to the treat, so. Yeah, the first videos with John and Indy. Well, there's a really old picture of John with Indy when he was a baby. But John used to sing songs. He'd come over, and I've got like a kind of like, I guess it's famous for the channel at least. He sang Indy is a Pretty Little Puppy on the channel, and Indy would love John singing to him. So, Among the Pines, thank you again for that super chat. I appreciate that. Boom, 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 boom. So, how you want to know how extreme the gore effects are? Personally, I don't think they're that extreme, but because I know how they were done, and it was like literally nothing. I wouldn't say it's overly gory movie, but there are a couple of gore scenes, and if you weren't on the set and you don't know how it was done, then yeah, I showed one friend who was like, "Oh my God, I can't watch this," and I'm like, if you can't watch this, you can't watch the rest of the movie. Like, there are a couple scenes that are, I guess they're pretty gory, but I just never thought about it like that because I know how we did it, and it was like totally not gory how we actually created it. But for the person watching the movie, yeah, there's about 3 or 4 gory scenes. Like there's a scene where you can see somebody's bite wound from a zombie, and then there's a couple like kind of gutty scenes, you know. But other than that, it's not overly gory, I would say. That's coming from me, like a huge horror fan, like where nothing like bothers me. But we used Caro syrup. Most of the blood we wanted to be black. We wanted it to be really dark, so there's not a lot of reds. Rob says, "Do you know how often I had to vomit while working on this?" I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's not that bad. I would say like I would even say like probably nowadays, like I would say like how old would you be? Like 12 or 13, would probably be old enough to watch this. I mean, I know I would have watched it as even younger, but well, yeah, Rob had to actually watch the movie before. Rob always wanted to work on this, but like before he could like say whether, it was worth it for him or not, because he works on some big stuff. Rob's a pro. Rob had to like set aside time to work on this, so he had to know it was a quality movie before he could say anything. So I sent him the movie, and he's like, yeah. So I guess that tells you that much. Like, obviously it wasn't what it was now because there was no sound, but Rob with the sound design team, brought what I couldn't to life. So he must have saw something within the movie that knew that there was something special about this movie. Otherwise, I don't think he would have taken it, because he gave me a huge deal to do this because he knew that our budget was so low. Like we only have like $3 million left in the budget. So I'm totally kidding. We don't have anything. We never had that in the beginning. But that would be nice for the second one, wouldn't it be? We use Caro syrup. My makeup effects person, Sam, she mixed all the blood. We had bottles and bottles and bottles of Caro syrup ready to go. Most of the effects were they would just put it in their mouth and swish it around, and it would look all like grimy and black, like really dark. Oh, Rob's got jokes. Yes. Yeah, I know. Rob did the design work for the sound of the zombie voices. Did it taste good? I don't know. I never had to have any of it in my mouth, but I know one of the actors was like, "Oh my God, I'm about to throw up," because he had to keep like biting something. But he did an amazing job. I don't want to say who it is. I don't want to say which actor said that, but yeah, if you mix like the red and like I think the blues, you'll get a really dark color, and that's what we were going for. We did some sugar glass too, which you didn't see. You don't see in the trailer, but you'll see something later. Sugar glass. We made sugar glass lamps and all kinds of stuff. I take it back. We only made 2 things, but that stuff's sticky. You don't want to get it in your hair. Rob had to do a different voice for each of the telepathic tentacles. That was ridiculous. Dude, the telepathic tentacles from No. Oh, I could only wish we would have that budget. Yeah. We had such a freaking short budget that, yeah, it was super, 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 super low. And again, the biggest expense was the paying the personnel, the cast and the crew. He was also the sound of my stomach's growling too. I have not eaten yet. I got right up to do this, so I know I'm probably gonna have to. I could keep talking. We could do a 24-hour stream here. Oh, my friend Jeremy just messaged me. Jeremy is actually in the movie a couple times. He's an extra. Hey Mel, Mel just got here. She just watched the trailer. It was awesome. Thank you, Mel. I'm glad you liked the trailer. So, I wonder how it's doing. Let me go refresh it. Also, it took me forever to do that little intro too. I got all like the elements around it. Oh wow, it's almost got 1,400 views. This is it's doing better than most of my videos, but we want it to keep going. We want like, oh my God, we want the news to pick it up. Hey, maybe I could get in the news here in Syracuse. Local filmmaker makes a film in Syracuse with a very low budget. Taking actions, thank you. Thank you so much. So proud of you for making your dream come true by making this movie. Can't wait to watch it. Your old videos with John made my transition to veganism easier back in 2012. Thank you. Old school, way back in 2012. Thank you. And yes, thank you. And thank you for being a Kickstarter backer too. Always glad to hear that, you know, something that we did helped somebody. Otherwise, we wouldn't do this. So, taking actions. Vegan Facebook groups. Yes. I did the same thing yesterday. I put it in a bunch of groups. Hopefully, they're seeing this now or something. I'll probably have to go back and put the movie in now because like before it's like, oh, it's just a premiere that we can't really click on. Also filmmaking groups too. I put it in some filmmaking groups. I put it in my local groups too, like Syracuse and Chittenango, like people I graduated with and stuff like that, just because it's filmed here. We filmed it here. Had to do it. Oatmeal sounds good right now. Ooh, it is freezing down here. I don't know. Maybe we've been on here for 2 hours. Maybe I'll do another live. I'll do more live streams. Like I want to know more about what people think as more people pour in, because a lot of people are probably working right now. So we'll do more live streams and get people, because there's probably a lot of people that don't even know that I even dropped this trailer yet. So we really want to get the word out there. My dog's like nudging me over here. This is my other dog. What are you doing? You miss Indy? Yeah? Are you up here? What are you doing? Do you want to go upstairs? Do you want to go? You got some bad breath. All right, well, I think that this has been really fun. I'm super excited that I got to share that with you guys. You guys can see a little bit more of what I've been working on. I know I'm sorry it's not the whole movie yet, but hopefully we will get that out there and it will be successful enough for us to be able to go and make a second movie. All right. All right, thank you, everybody. I'm going to end this live stream. I'm going to go get some food. I'm going to let my dog out, and we'll come back and we'll do more. I might do an Instagram one and just get people to know that this is out here the day of. So Thank you all for the super chats. Thank you all for the support. Thank you all. Remember, go over to the trailer, give it that thumbs up, comment below. I'm gonna go and read the comments later, and share it. Tell people about this. Tell people that this is the first vegan movie coming out. I know he's whining over here, so I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.